Racism in politics as well. Unfortunately, yes, we do see a lot of racism against people like Jagmeet Singh was a prime example in Canada. The abuse that he received, even when serving in office, it was just shocking. And again, I do find it quite ironic, particularly in North America. You see right-wing extremists, being racist and saying, "Get out of my country," and I always laugh and say, well, actually, North America, relatively speaking, in all due respect to North America, it is a relatively young country. The whole country, bar the indigenous Indians, are all immigrants anyway. So it is not your country. Well, it's sort of it's now this great sort of melting pot of cultures. But ultimately, it's very hypocritical again for right-wing extremists in North America to be racist against these people. But unfortunately, it's driven by anger. And we've referred to this a lot recently about the rising anger in Western society. It's been driven by all sorts of different agenda. Excuse me, whether it's but again, it's generally political. It's mass immigration has created a huge amount of anger, and I think a lot of root cause of the racism that we're seeing now that is extending from extreme right wing, actually even to sort of mainstream people. I would say people who more sitting more comfortably in the centre. They are now starting to sort of almost by default refer to racist tropes because again, their anger is such and driven by such mass immigration and uncontrolled immigration, that their anger needs an outlet. And of course, they target people who are high profile, whether it is Jagmeet Singh or Jas Singh that was you referred to. It's unforgivable, but it's understandable, sadly. And we see it a lot here in the UK. I've seen the huge rise in racism, again, primarily driven by these root causes that we talked about. And unfortunately, it's division and it's hate. And again, we always try to look behind the scenes. Well, what is driving division and hate? It seems to be some sort of agenda that is rolling out across Western democracies to drive the wedges between our communities. And it can only be prevented when we recognise it happening in the first place. It's very easy. We're seeing the right turned against the left. We're seeing communities driven against each other, whether it's Sikhs and Muslims or Hindus or Christians or whatever. We're all seeing just this huge fractures appearing in our society that are being driven by certain factors. We must be totally aware of it.